Phil Bentham, the match referee, dressed in all yellow tonight, is about to get this game underway. Chris Melling just teeing the ball up on the kicking tee, and Harlequins in their traditional jerseys will attack from left to right. We're underway. It's a massive test of the Quins, this, Steve-O.
Certainly is, and they realise they've got to get into the faces of the Giants, got to make sure that they make their presence felt. But to try to just put a little bit of doubt into the Huddersfield outfit. We know they've been playing exceptionally well. It's going to be a big ask for Tony Clubb and David Howell in the centres for the Quins tonight, mainly due to the fact that Huddersfield have got two former forwards, Stephen Wild, Lee Gilmore, running out wide in the centres. Big, strong and very difficult to put down.
This is Andy Raleigh. He gets to his feet, plays the ball. This is tackle number 5 coming in. That's a good, strong run there from Darryl Griffin. And Hodgson with the crossfield kick and right down the middle. And it's far too big. Ben Jones-Bishop, the fullback on loan from Leeds, just allows that to run dead in goal. Let's get early news. Very early in the piece. Here's Bill.
Eddie, just on the theme of the rotten luck that Harlequins are having at the moment, there is a glimmer of good news for them this week with Jason Golden's availability, because they thought he was going to be yet another name to be added to their injury list when he was taken off against Salford with a suspected dislocated shoulder and muscle injury at the same time, and they were fearing the worst on him. But he has made a miraculous recovery during the week. They didn't expect to see him in training. He turned up on Tuesday. It's got better as the week has gone on. So a bit of good news for the Quins.
Yes, there's Brian McDermott, the coach. He was 40 on Tuesday, and well, life begins at 40 for Brian McDermott. We all hope it maybe begins here tonight for him, because he's gone through the horrors this year. I suppose, Steve-O, as Brett Hodgson goes down that first tackle, I suppose the major problem for Huddersfield, and I mentioned this to John Wells in the build-up, is a touch of complacency. They look at that team sheet and they think these are 2 points for the taking.
Yeah, you'd think that way, but Nathan Brown is a very, very solid coach who realises that there can be a bit of complacency run through any player's mind. But they really have been in tip-top form of the Giants, and they are the Giants indeed. They're very strong in the forwards, and as I mentioned, two big forwards out wide and Gilmore. Unbelievable.
This is Luke Robinson, pops the ball up for Griffin, who drives it in. He's met with some heavy traffic there, though. Good tackle that was from Golden. Here is Robinson again as Huddersfield spray it down this left-hand side. It's a lovely chip, and they're after it, and they've got it with Gilmore, and here's the first try for Huddersfield. Lee Gilmore, but did he get that down before he bounced over the dead ball line?
Only just.
Touch judge nods to Phil Bentham. Yes, he did. And Gilmore in the centres, 32. It was his birthday last weekend as well. But what a beautiful chip through by Kevin Brown. And Gilmore read the script absolutely perfectly, didn't he? That's his third try of the campaign. Almost 400 games now in his career, over 100 tries. And the third for the Huddersfield Giants this year.
Just shows you what a great coach Nathan Brown is as well. Early in the tackle count, clip over the top. You could see that the Quins had a slide in defence. OK, he got the lovely bounce, did Gilmore, but take nothing away. Just got it down in time, didn't he? But the kick from Brown, quite superb. Just a little bit of relaxation there by Jamie O'Callaghan. He really should have gone and tried to get that up before it bounced. And Gilmore, just look at this. It's only a fraction. He knew what he was doing. Or did he? Either way, the 4 is on the board.
Lee Gilmore's try, the worst possible start for Harlequins.
It was, but I was so excited coming to this game today, Eddie, because the last time we saw Huddersfield play, their attack was just fantastic. They really did move things around, and there's a variety. They're prepared to do things which other sides aren't trying at the moment. The short chip kick over on the last tackle, one just example, and it's bounced in their favour.
And Brett Hodgson is back in Huddersfield colours. He just needs 2 goals. He now only needs 1 goal for 100 for the club. He's slotted that over.
There you see the slide in defence, and they just didn't realise it. O'Callaghan, and he didn't get the bounce. Gilmore takes full advantage.
And that's one of those things there that with inexperience and young wingers that, you know, if they get the chance to get to the ball, never let it bounce. From the first things you learn. Unfortunately, Jamie's, you know, he's out there and he's playing probably, you know, more rugby than anybody would like at the moment, and he's had to learn the hard way there.
And that's an awful restart from Chris Melling. The ball goes sailing out on the full. There was a call here from the 3 players. Let it go.
Oh, and it was well out, wasn't it? Just a lack of concentration there. And Chris Mellon, playing standoff tonight, realises that he's put his team under even more pressure. 6 points down, just over 5 minutes gone. They really have got to rally, and that's a great take. He's got it to
foot in touch.
That's a shame.
O'Callaghan just stumbled backwards, and his heel must have just clipped the whitewash.
And the thing is, what he's done is jumped from inside the field of play. Now, if he'd have had his foot outside and he took the ball, that would have been a tap from there. But well, the thing's not going right for the youngster Jamie O'Callaghan.
Wait for the calls, front foot forward.
So head and feet at the scrum to Huddersfield. More danger here for Harlequins. This is Kevin Brown. Now it's Andy Raleigh. And Raleigh driving Huddersfield forward, getting to within 10 metres of the line. Lunt gives it to Griffin. The big men are out in force for Huddersfield tonight. And the giant Earl Crabtree is ready to come off the bench as well. Robinson, good harassing though by Danny Orr.
Oh, he knew exactly what was happening, took ball and all.
Lunt will come the short side, will try and spin out of trouble himself, almost trying to crawl over the line.
He's
There's
so
Graham
dangerous.
Horn.
So dangerous, Sean Lunt, anywhere near that try line.
Space here for Kevin Brown. He finds Brett Hodgson, another chip over the top, looking for Cudjoe. Cudjoe in the corner. This could be a decision though for the video referee. No, the try is given. The call must have come from the touch judge to say that Cudjoe was onside. I thought that maybe perhaps that was one that might have been looked at again by the video referee. But Cudjoe, 2 tries in the opening 6 minutes for the Huddersfield Giants. And it, I'm afraid, is not looking terribly good for Harlequins again.
But you've got to give credit yet again. Utilisation of the kick early on. Make sure that this sliding defence is caught out. This is from the kick-off there. And look at O'Callaghan there. He was so close, wasn't he, to turning it around. And then as soon as it got to Hodgson, watch this. Superb fullback. On this occasion, it's Will Sharp that's caught out. Inexperience. It's certainly paying the price, but the Giants are playing superb rugby league football. It's all about taking your chances, and Cudjoe certainly has done that.
Well, a 10-point lead for the Huddersfield Giants early here, and well, Brian McDermott will not want to hear this, but it is now 220 minutes since the Giants have conceded a try on the road, and that was a try that they conceded at Hull. 220 minutes they have kept their try line intact ever since Hull crossed for that. In great form, and Hodgson with a little dink over the top, he created the try for Cudjoe, and now can he add the extras from way out on the far side. Difficult kick this. Brett Hodgson, by the way, fully recovered from the injury. Not far away, but just the wrong side of the posts. 10-0 though, Huddersfield Giants.
Well, there are certain areas that you really have to work hard on at training. And the one thing that Nathan Brown signifies is that when you can catch out a defence like that, on both occasions, both the Gilmore try and Cudjoe try, coming from finding that sliding defence, too slow to get back. First O'Callaghan, on that occasion Will Sharp. They're in a hole, I'm afraid, to the home side.
This time, though, they stay on the island with the kick-off. And there's a blow for Huddersfield. David Failongo goes off. Wonder if that's injury or tactics. Must be an injury after 8 minutes, surely.
I'd imagine so. Just going back to that last try, worth giving Kevin Brown just a little bit of praise for what he did. When he caught the ball, he just stepped, if you notice, and tried to straighten up the play. It held the defenders in position. Might not have been very much, but it was very effective.
I'll tell you what else as well. It shows you how simple the game can be. You know, when it's played properly like that, every ball to hand, the kick was pinpoint, and Brett Hodgson's showing his worth already inside the first 5 minutes.
Well, the Harlequins have hardly had their hands on the ball yet. Now they will. What, it was nearly a fumble from Ben Jones-Bishop, but he held on to it.
Here's the Brown, just takes on the line, holds up the defenders momentarily, by which point Will Sharp then is committed. Space was created, and the skills showed they could exploit it.
Danny Orr is in there at dummy half, even though he was named as scrum half here tonight.
Well, this is where the Quins really have to just slow things down. They've got to get field position, make sure that they can just keep hold of it, get a good kick and chase. They've got to settle themselves now. The nerves they'll be all at sea. They really have been shattered in the opening 8 minutes.
Danny Ward, Chad Randall, the pass goes behind one player but finds its way out to the wing.
5, move, and wait, go, Brett, come on.
Danny Orr then brings the ball infield. That was Chris Melling with a deep kick, but nobody chasing that. Only David Hodgson for the Huddersfield Giants. Showed it to namesake Brett, and then took the first tackle this next set of 6 for the Huddersfield Giants.
Just shows you, Eddie, the difference in between the two sides in regards to, you know, putting yourself in a key position when you know that it's going to be the last kick. David Hodgson knew exactly where he was going.
Just look at Brett Hodgson there. As a fullback, probably one of the reasons, Eddie, why he is so highly valued. The number of times he touches the ball, gets involved. He doesn't just stay at the back of play. Very often you see him as the acting halfback. Other times he'll be in position to kick it or even provide the passing play.
I've just seen there, looking at on the field, one of the smallest guys on there, Danny Orr, has just come up, massive shot there on one of the Huddersfield players, and then backed it up with another first out the line, you know, really showing the way forward, and that's what we need from the Quins boys.
It's the last tackle here for Huddersfield, and Hodgson with the kick. Oof. Took a chance then, didn't he? Oh, the ball has found its way into touch. I think Will Sharp might. Now, whose ball is it? Says
well, why on earth did he not?
It's Huddersfield's ball here. It's come off his boot and it's hit the line.
Why on earth did he not try to go for it? He was obviously in two minds, thinking it was going to go out. But that is so lackadaisical.
Does not hit the floor first, Eddie? I think it hits the floor.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right.
It should be scrum back.
It
should
really
be Harlequins head and feed back in attacking position.
It's very unfortunate there, Will Sharp. He was in two minds, but you know, in that position, go with your hands. You really have got to try to take it on the full.
More pressure then on this Harlequins defence. Huddersfield's first trip to London since they lost the Challenge Cup to Warrington at Wembley last August. The run to the final started here with a big win. And it looks like David Hodgson might have a chance of getting over the line for the third try, but that's good scrambling defence from the Harlequins on this occasion, or is it? Yes, it is. He's held up, says the referee.
Well, on that occasion, good cover defence. It had to be as well. It looked as though Hodgson was going to go into the corner. He had to step off the left foot.
Hold the line, lads. It's on 2.
And that'll lift the Quins.
Okay.
That really was a good covered effort.
Here comes Raleigh then. The tackle count, of course, continuing because the Huddersfield man was held over the line, David Hodgson. They come back 10 metres and start again. This is Kevin Brown. 4 tackles gone. Huddersfield now 5 metres from the line. Gets to his feet. That's Sean Lunt. Lunt with a short ball. And there's a chance there for Griffin. He is held up just short this time.
Now this is where Sean Lunt is very dangerous indeed. He'll try to go low and underneath. Will he go on his own? No, it's gone wide.
Gives it to Robinson, who in turn gives it to Hodgson. It's another dink to the corner. And well claimed over on that far side by Will Sharp this time. And he will breathe a huge sigh of relief. Let's get down to Bill.
David Farlongo off with a thigh injury. He picked that up after the first try was scored. In actual fact, was down on the deck having some treatment, tried to continue, hasn't been able to, so they've taken him off and strapping the injury up. David Fayumu on in his place.
Man of the match, David Farlongo against Leeds last week, and Nathan Brown described his performance last Sunday afternoon as world class. This, meanwhile, is Luke Williamson, just inside his own half of the field.
And again, it's finding it difficult for the Quins to get into a good field position. It's so much resting on the shoulders of Chad Randall and Danny Orr. Their combination should be good. And that's easy.
With the kick right downfield and right into the arms of Brett Hodgson.
There's one thing that Chad Randall really should be looking to do, and is Huddersfield make a break here.
Yes, Robinson is hauled down. It was Bolger with the tackle. Here is Leroy Cudjoe.
Oh, they're having all sorts of trouble with the Quins getting back into any sort of line. The Horn has gone back the wrong way. They had the overlap out on the left. Can they swing it wide?
Well, they're coming this way now with Kevin Brown. And Brown goes up the middle, as it turns out, halted by Melling's challenge. Hodgson again, dummy half. And he finds Fayumu, pops it up then for Robinson. Robinson then to David Hodgson. And Hodgson denied again by solid Harlequins defence out on this near side. Brown, Raleigh, this is Griffin.
This is superb attacking football by the Huddersfield Giants. Run-arounds, inside passes, they're confusing them all over the shop.
Lunt trying to weave his way to the line, held up just short though. They went for the power play, did Huddersfield on the last.
I think one thing that Harlequins need to try and do, their kicking team, Mellin, Randall and Orr, because they're not making they haven't got not enjoying the field territory at the moment, those kicks really need to find the floor, really need to try and split the back three. It's something they would have worked on, and it is disappointing to see it as yet they've not managed to find the floor.
Quins then trying to work this ball away from their own line. This now is David Howell, 15 tries last year, 14 of them in Super League. He was their top try scorer.
The Quins were trying very hard indeed to try to get the ball out wide, try to get a chink in this very strong Huddersfield defence, as was the case virtually all the way through last year. Nathan Brown, who works hard in that department.
Ward plays the ball to Danny Orr. No way through again. That's the last. They're still deep inside their own half of the field here. The kick has to be good from Melling. He was under pressure from Raleigh. Another poor kick straight into the arms of Hodgson. Hodgson goes wide and finds Cudjoe. And Cudjoe carrying the ball dangerously in one hand, but brings it back in field.
He must give his coach a nightmare. I mean, to carry the ball in one hand, I know it's quite clever, looks good, but it's easy to have the ball carrying arm just knocked down and lose possession.
Good grip on the ball, obviously, and that was a great run from Griffin. Here is Gilmore. Wants to get up and play the ball quickly. Now it's Lunt.
Okay, Jason.
4 tackles gone, they're 20 metres away, the Huddersfield Giants. David Fayumu at dummy half, he gives it to Kevin Brown. Brown then to Robinson. Robinson short ball, and that was Martin Aspinwall. It's the last one here for Huddersfield. Robinson goes down the right channel, wide they go again. That's Stephen Wild, dumps the ball down. Cudjoe tries to keep it back in play. Now then, I think that was off the feet of Brown that ball went into touch.
Yep, he's got it right, as Phil Bentham. Well, I must say, okay, we know that the Harlequins are going through the horrors in regards to injuries, but the way that the Huddersfield Giants are playing the attacking football, I don't think there's any team at the moment in Super League could have held that teams out. The 2 kicks were superb. The run-arounds, the passing inside, just wonderful.
Is there a knock-on there at all here from Melling? Knock-on, or is it kicked out by Brown?
No, I think it's Brown that's get the boot to it, but it was pretty close to it.
Go. Hands out of his face.
Boy, it's obvious that Nathan Brown has come in and said, look, we want to blitz the Harlequins off the park as early as possible. And in many ways, Brian McDermott, the Quins coach, will be saying, well, we haven't done too badly apart from those 2 kicks. They've held up pretty strong.
Yes, they've been competitive, haven't they, apart from the 2 early tries. 2 in 6 minutes, remember. But that's the sort of form that wins matches. Clubb plays the ball to... Oh, that's a good ball. That's even... Oh, now then. A forward pass from Chad Randall.
I don't know. I think that was okay.
Was it Ward's pass or was it Randall's pass? It's this one.
Oh, that looks all right. 50, surely.
Maybe the angle. There, because that is brilliant rugby. Look at the interplay of 4 quick passes.
Danny Orr was on his way to the line then, but Danny Ward's pass are judged to have just drifted forward. Tackled by Bolger, but quick play the ball from Huddersfield. Hodgson. That's flicked. It was knocked forward first time by Harlequins. It's going to be head and feed to the Huddersfield Giants here.
Have you noticed, Eddie? 3 good runarounds inside the first half an hour. It's more and more coming back into this sport here. Now the ball here passed inside and knock on by, is it Golden with the headband?
Golden just got a fingertips to it, but it has been very impressive the way that Huddersfield have thrown the attack against them. And that's, as I mentioned before, there's a man that got the knock-on, fingertips to it. But Brian McDermott will be quite happy with the fact that he stemmed the tide. He had to. It looked as though the Giants were going to run away with it. That never went in the scrum. Something rare these days.
In a bizarre way, Steve, the Harlequins, because of the start we've had to the season, they won't be panicking in this situation. They're very used to it, adept at dealing with these kind of situations.
Here's Crabtree, the big man standing outside the scrum when it formed. Takes 3 to bring him down, and he picks up his full 6'7" frame and then plays the ball, and it's Robinson. Just delayed the pass, Robinson goes to ground, and Danny Orr picks up the pieces for Harlequins. That's a big mistake on the first tackle.
Just a little bit too smart there. You could see Robinson was throwing a dummy, then the delayed. It was going to the loose forward Martin Aspinwall. He couldn't take it in. But it was good pressure again.
Because they're on top, Huddersfield are able to put 3 men into the tackle. Look at the time this is going to take. They're in control here. It doesn't mean one of them has to do a bit more running. But more often than not, and you see this a lot with Wigan as well, 3 and maybe sometimes 4 men into the tackle. You get control of the ruck area that way.
Here's Danny Orr again.
Well, that's the best way to go for Quins. They've got to go on that blind side, keep the ball low, at least get into a position where they can try to force the error, and that is poor. He was looking for the offload, and no one was paying attention.
Martin Aspinall was flat out there and at the back of the ruck. Another high kick. Melling is chasing this, and he does well. That will lift the Harlequins, that run.
Certainly did, and timed it to perfection. A lot more height on there. Even though it was down the throat of Brett Hodgson, he was under pressure.
Great kick chase there from Chris Mellon. He's a usual play. His position is at full-back. They get to do an awful lot of that in the game, and he's managed very well.
Timed it to perfection. Nowhere there for Brett Hodgson to move. Approaching the half-hour mark, and Huddersfield 10-0 up. They scored 2 tries in the opening 6 minutes. It looked like curtains for the Quins, but they have dug in deep here to try and keep the Giants out, and so far they are succeeding. And that's Sean Lunt with a 40-20 attempt, but it wasn't the angle. Ben Jones-Bishop then will run this ball out.
But again, it was in the angle away. It hit the turf, and it gave the Chase the chance to get themselves in a good position.
Danny Orr
nearly
almost
half
through. Oh, the touch judge is on. He has seen something in back play here. And the referee will take the report.
The Harlequins play past the ball. Crabtree took the man out with his shoulder.
Okay, I'll speak to him.
Okay.
I'll just come in. Yeah. What we've got is, you come in with a shoulder when it's too late. So what you've got to do, if you're going to do that, you've got to time it right.
Yeah, he went for him, did Crabtree. Well after he had offloaded Will Sharp. We can do without that.
So penalty to Harlequins, and that's their first penalty of the match. This is Huddersfield have had 3, Quins just the 1. We've just seen it. It was conceded by the man in the tackle there. First man in, Earl Crabtree.
And that is the one thing that Nathan Brown will be furious about. It has been a problem for the Giants over the last few years, and they realise they've got to make sure they shut that out of their game.
Good work from Lunt. Randall. He's one of the key figures for Harlequins, Chad Randall.
Well, the Harlequins have known to be scoring tries when they get very near the opposition's line. The trouble is, this is the first opportunity they've had that, and they've blown it.
But he's got them offside, Huddersfield.
Boy, Bricks was away. Nothing was going to stop him. Wasn't the best pass. Brett Hodgson, the skipper, says, are you sure, sir? Well, it didn't look too offside from the wide angle. Either way, Quins will not be arguing. Now, this is where they're very dangerous indeed. Randall and Danny Orr.
There is Orr, there is Randall, and that was a good pass. And it was Williamson who was hauled down by 2. Ball now with Orr again. Behind Danny Warden finds Chris Melling. Looping pass then on the bounce. And he did well to keep that in, did Jamie O'Callaghan from the pass from Tony Clubb.
Well recovered by David Hodgson, though. He went looking for that as the ball was bouncing away, but he had enough speed to get back into a good position.
Drive forward from Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. Last tackle.
Switch to this blindside, surely.
And the kick goes wide. And might be too wide. It's way too far. Well, they've capitalised on a bit of territory here, Harlequins. Their second penalty in as many minutes. He waited half an hour to give the Harlequins a penalty, Phil Bentham. And then he gave 2 inside a minute, like London transport buses. Come along in 2s.
Do you think that's the best tactic? You get down into the opposition half, and it's the first time you've had chance in there for 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and going for the try on the first opportunity, you've got to build pressure. That's what you can't really go for the try first off. Maybe a repeat set would have been a better option there.
I think you're right, John. A little dink into the in-goal area, try to get another set of 6. As I say, they're capable of scoring tries at the Quins if they can get into that position. Nice take from Jones Bishop.
Yes, it was. It was a poor kick, though, from Kevin Brown.
Great
nice
offload.
slip pass, though.
Brilliant pass. For a side that's at the bottom of the league, down in confidence, they're still prepared to pass the ball, Eddie, and that's a good thing, a positive. At times, maybe, when they got into that attacking position, they weren't quite sure. They weren't all confident of what everyone was going to do. But they've grown, certainly, in the confidence as the game's worn on.
Well, a little bit unfortunate there, Danny Orr. He quick play the ball, running through, touched the man that had not gone back the 10. It's ignored by the man with the whistle, Phil Bentham. Oh, that's a shame. The idea was good, but Lunt was quick to snap on that loose ball.
Hold. Go. All right, Danny.
There's David Howell trying to get the ball out wide. It's Graham Horn now for Huddersfield. Dumped to the ground unceremoniously.
You could see there Howell just trying to offload with the right arm. Well, a lot of respect now from the Giants. They realise that the Harlequins have upped the tempo in defence.
Hold, Jason.
You know what? The guy playing the ball, Liam Patrick, if Sean Lunt was the big success of last year, Eddie, then Liam Patrick could be the one for this year. Watch him as this game goes on here now, as Hodgson fights for the ball. Is he going to come up with it?
That'll play the first knock on, surely.
Back here, back up, 3.
Oh, he said he went backwards, play on, no advantage.
I think, actually, that Brett Hodgson was pulled back then as he was chasing that.
4. Move.
Well, Brian McDermott will be happy with the way that they have dug deep. Oh, nice offload to Robinson. They've got the advantage.
And Brown is with him, but Robinson goes on his own. Is he going to kick into the corner looking for Cudjoe? He is. Cudjoe times the run perfectly. Second try for Leroy Cudjoe. A brilliant move from Huddersfield. Slicing them open up the middle. And then Robinson, well, he had Brown, but he noticed that the cover had come across. And so he went inside and clipped the ball into the air. And Cudjoe, he's so quick. And he just delayed and then put the foot on the gas, took the ball on the full again, and over in the corner for his second try and Huddersfield's third of this first half. Leroy Cudjoe.
You won't see much better than this, I can assure you. Back on the inside, Robinson comes through. Look how he then steps. He had Brown out wide, and this is nothing short of superb. Composure from Cudjoe, try number 2. The third try by the Giants. Beautiful offload. Watch, anticipation. Now, he can see his winger. Ready, take your time, chip over the top. The combination is near perfection. All came about, real bit of a mess here. He allowed that Hodgson said he did not knock on, but that is a superb effort.
Excellent try from Leroy Cudjoe, who is becoming a bit of a TV star this year, because he scored 6 tries now, and 5 of them come in front of our cameras. 2 against Bradford, 1 against Wakefield, and he's already got 2 here today. Leroy Cudjoe. He's only 21 years of age, and he has played the last 2 at full back because this fellow, Brett Hodgson, has been out of the side and injured. But Hodgson, now with the opportunity to add the extras. Another difficult kick for him. He scuffed it this time the other side of the posts. Rain falling here in London, but sun shining on Huddersfield. They lead 14-0.
And I suppose that Nathan Brown will be quite happy the way that they've executed the 3 tries, all from kicks, of course, but the way that Faimu got the offload back on the inside to Luke Robinson, of course, has just signed an extended contract with the Giants. A lot of speculation, of course, that Danny Brough will be going to the Giants at the end of this season. It's obvious that Nathan Brown, the Giants coach, is looking to get more depth within his side. They went so close last year, Eddie.
They did. They were an awful disappointment in the playoffs, though, weren't they? But I think that Earl Crabtree here has come up with an error, and it's been forced on him by some ferocious challenging.
I think special mention there to Jason Golden. I think you pointed out earlier in the piece there that Jason had gone off injured last weekend with concussion and a suspected dislocated shoulder. Real story behind that. The ball getting kicked by an opposing player, knocked him clean out, landed on his shoulder. And to really front up within 7 days is a bit of a feat.
Yes, a big comeback, said Brian McDermott. Meanwhile, that was Earl Crabtree grounded by his tackle, and now it's Huddersfield's turn to defend. This is Danny Orr. He finds Danny Ward up the middle, and the prop forward will rundle it forward again for Harlequins. Approaching half-time. What would Quins do for a score here? It's Luke Williamson again. Now there's danger here for the Huddersfield line. Can they keep them out? Not the best pass.
It was a shocker.
Finds Ward, and Ward gives it away. Oh, and then Fayumu gives it away.
That's play on. Well done by the coach, the referee Phil Bentham. Huddersfield are claiming it's their ball, but they really should have not offloaded there. That was being too clever. The mistake from Ward. And the Giants got it back and said, "Oh, we can offload it."
Ward, Danny Orr there, and here is Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook.
Goal line. Hold.
Danny Orr at dummy half again. Ball comes back to Randall, and a good driving leg run there. And Grix is underneath. Cudjoe's on the top. There was no way through for Williamson again. They might be in for a try, though. I think they are with Randall. Chad Randall gets the try for Harlequins, right on the stroke of half-time. Well, a real porridge made of it by the Huddersfield defence on that occasion. But once they have the chance to get within a few metres of the line, the Harlequins can be quite deadly. And Chad Randall there with the try. Captain with Rob Purdom out. And a man who made his Super League debut at Huddersfield way back in March 2006 in the 64-14 defeat. But he's got a try here tonight that's given them hope.
Well, that really should have been no advantage. OK, Fayumu does offload it, but as soon as Ward is knocked on, that's a reaction from Brian Dermott, and by the time he turns around, Randall goes in for the try. He's very dangerous. The Quins are dangerous when they get close to the opposition try line, and they have come up trumps. It is just the fillip they needed just before the half-time break, and it's something that Brian McDermott and the Quins can build on. Can Danny Orr have the extras?
And the answer is yes, he can. Well, it took opposition players 253 minutes to break down this Huddersfield defence on the road, and there's the man who just did it, Chad Randall, with the try right on the stroke of half-time. It's Huddersfield who will get the game in motion via the boot of Brett Hodgson. Rain tumbling down. Deep kick-off from Hodgson. Ben Jones-Bishop was underneath it. And, well, it's a vital opening 10 minutes, John, for the Harlequins.
Very much so there. They've got to really come out this second half, and as they finish the first, they've got to break up there with seconds to go with Chad Randall crossing the line. They need to keep this momentum up now for the first 10 minutes of the second half.
Yes, they've been notoriously slow starters, second half.
Well, the one advantage you will have, and Brian McDermott will have made it quite clear to them, that they've got this pretty strong wind. It really has freshened up during the half-time break. It's still raining, of course, but they've got the men out there that can utilise the kicking game. They've gone out wide. Have they got the overlap?
It's a deep kick, and underneath it is Leroy Cudjoe, just operating for that split second at full back. The one thing I would just wonder, I wonder if they will use Cudjoe as a goal kicker in this second half, because he's been in pretty impressive form over the past couple of weeks. 5 from 5 last week, for instance, against the Leeds Rhinos. Wonder if Bill's heard any news of anything like that in the dressing room at half-time, Bill?
Eddie, what I have heard is that Nathan Brown has been pretty forceful with his side during the interval, because they've just gone off the boil. They got off to that flying start, really were out of the traps very quickly, exactly what he wanted, and got the advantage. And then they've just let it slip away and allowed the Harlequin side to get a foothold in the game. So the Giants should be coming out raring in this second half, but they're facing a Harlequin side that Brian McDermott is pretty happy with the way they've stuck in there, and when it looked as though things were going against them, and they were, because they got some terrible calls that went against them, 1 or 2 decisions that could have set them back and demoralised them, but they've stuck to their game and they're still in this game, and he's pretty satisfied with his side.
And so he should be. And I'll tell you who else will be. Brian Blacker, who is oh no, he's the Giants' second team manager. He won't be too impressed. He is 50 years old today, and maybe the next 40 minutes will make him feel even older.
Certainly will. And Brian McDermott would have been able to say to his charges, look, the only time that the Giants scored, the 3 tries came from kicks, not from clean breaks down the middle, etc. Okay, Robinson made that one in the first half, but they sorted their defence out. And we keep mentioning it, Phil Clark, that the Quins, to get anywhere near the line, they are extremely dangerous.
What they've done as well, Eddie, is we see a kick go through and put David Hodgson under some pressure. He's actually break some tackles in this second half. From the start of it, when Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook carried the ball from the kick-off, we saw him break through the first couple of tackles, make that extra 2 metres, and now they've found the level of aggression that you need if you want to beat the Huddersfield Giants.
And of course, what everybody says is just how much has the victory, and what a victory it was against Leeds Rhinos last week, taken out of Huddersfield. And looking further down the track, they've got a game against St Helens coming up next weekend. So it's interesting. But here comes a break from Robinson, and he's got Hodgson outside him. He gives it to Hodgson, who is going to be too quick for Ben Jones-Bishop, is he? No, he isn't. That's great chasing back by Ben Jones-Bishop.
Not only that, he slowed him down sufficiently so that he couldn't get a quick play of the ball, but they're all at sea here.
And it's on the last tackle here, Grix. And here is Stephen Wild. He gives it to Cudjoe, and it's a hat-trick for Leroy Cudjoe. He's taken a bang for his pains as he scored it, but the hat-trick for Cudjoe in the corner. It looked as though Hodgson had the speed, but Ben Jones-Bishop on the other side decided that he was not going to get round him. So from left to right, Huddersfield swung the ball. They were caught for numbers, Harlequins, down this right-hand side of the Huddersfield attack. And Leroy Cudjoe, he gets a hat-trick. It's his 4th hat-trick of his career.
Well, Brian McDermott will be disappointed with the defensive... And you could see that Robinson had made it, but look at this. Ben Jones-Bishop got well. Not only that, held him down long enough, but Brett Hodgson realised if they get the ball out quick and get it out, Grix says, let's go, keep it out wide. Wild fields him. That is the hat-trick. And it's been a superb night for the winger. He really is in top form, Leroy Cudjoe. And look how he just kept himself behind. Many a winger often will just sneak in front, but not on that occasion. Fully deserved, been there at the right occasion. First 2 came from kicks, and then the last from the final pass from Wild.
Brett Hodgson lines up the kick. They have only managed 1 from 3 with him in charge. Cudjoe, as I say, 5 from 5 last week, and 6 goals against Wakefield in the big victory we saw. Oh, and that's going nowhere near the post from Brett Hodgson. I don't know whether that's a little grimace that maybe there's something wrong with the hamstring again, but whatever. It's 18-6, but Leroy Cudjoe, 2007 Academy Player of the Year. Hasn't he developed?
Fantastic. You know, a lot of things have changed in rugby over the last 50 years, but what you've just seen there hasn't. If a team make a break down one side of the field and you have the skill to transfer it across afterwards, then you've got a great chance of scoring. And Huddersfield have just demonstrated through very good passing skill in difficult conditions with defenders in front of them the ability to do that.
The other thing that strikes me there, Phil, is that, you know, how quickly a game can turn. It would look great kick chase. Huddersfield looked like they were going nowhere. 1 break, 1 chance, and they've taken 4 points from it.
And here comes Crabtree with the first tackle of the next set of 6. Horn, released by the Black and Whites of Hull FC back end of last year. No, it wasn't Horn, it was Larne Patrick, actually. This is Darryl Griffin. But Graham Horn, who is in the squad tonight, was released by Hull at the end of the year. This is Robinson at dummy half for the Giants. Grix now for them. And a kick that will find the ground, but again, well picked up by Ben Jones-Bishop.
Tremendous kick into the corner, and you could see that the chase went in on the angle. Leading the way was Kevin Brown. He's in superb form. Great balance. Wonderful pair of hands. And when you combine that with the way that Luke Robinson made that break, and Nathan Brown, the coach, realises they've got a really big pack. Oh, that looked a bit high with the shoulder.
Danny Orr. Ball comes infield to Will Sharp, and he is enveloped by Crabtree and Fayumu.
Wait, go for.
Or again. Trundle forward once more. Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook wants to get on with it and play it quickly. Here's Randall on the last. Dab over the top, well watched by Hodgson.
And again, I don't know why they're opting to go on this blind side. It's not the option I would take there from Randall. You know, it's slippy out there. A dink into the corner off the ground. It can spin anywhere. It's awkward for anybody to pick up. Put it in the air, they just catch it easy, and they've given away a silly penalty.
That just releases the pressure, and more pressure released because then there was a little bit of back chatting at Phil Bentham.
Well, he wouldn't let go of him, would he? But he's claiming to the official, and maybe he has a little bit of a call there, that he was the left arm was being trapped by the man carrying the football, trying to get up and play the ball.
Frustration for Brian McDermott. Here's Griggs, short ball to Crabtree.
First, move, hold, go, double it now.
Griffin up the middle it goes.
This very flat pass, it enables the Giants to get over that advantage line, and it's difficult for any defence to keep it solid.
Wide they go, looking for David Hodgson out there. Gilmore, Brown then to that man Graham Horn. That's good leg drive from him, and he's right on the line, just held up short. Pat on the back for Lamont Bryan for the effort there to keep him out. Here is Brown again. He's seen a gap, Brown, but it's cut down by the tackle of Jason Golden. Fayumu goes the other way, gives it to Crabtree. Crabtree crashes over. Just like the first half, the second half starting badly for Harlequins. The warning signs that John Wells pointed out to us. They needed to keep their shape, they needed to regroup, Harlequins. But Huddersfield, Earl Crabtree, his last try for the Giants came in June 2008. What a time to pick up your first try in almost 2 years.
Well, they're trying to slow things down, and McCarthy-Scarsbrook was penalised, and then he made it even worse, had a bit of a chat. It wasn't the best run from Crabtree, he had to lean back for it. And it just shows you that perhaps this Harlequin defence trying to get through to him, but it looks as though they're tiring somewhat. He was happy with that, because he had to lean back. A charging run indeed, but not the best combination from the passer. But Crabtree made it work.
Made his debut against London Broncos 9 years ago. He's in his testimonial year, Earl Crabtree, as is our guest here, John Wells, tonight. John for the Harlequins, for whom, if you missed the news earlier, he has announced his retirement as a player today, sadly, bowing to the pressure of injury. John Wells. And Brett Hodgson here now to add the extras, and he doesn't miss from that range. It's 24 points to 6 to the Huddersfield Giants. Or infield to Randall, Lamont Bryan. Those luminous yellow boots of his. That's the last. Or goes wide to Randall. Randall hoists it with some height. Tremendous chase. Tremendous chase from Chris Melling that was on Brett Hodgson.
Well, he's done a few of those, hasn't he? It was a beautiful kick, plenty of height. That's what you got to do, and that's really good defence, working as a unit. Now they've got to make sure that they concentrate. Don't give away a silly penalty. Look at that. Oh, great work by Danny Orr, and a good take. Melling just wraps him up.
They can get great line speed here because the forwards didn't take one hit up in that last set of 6. We're sharing the workload of the Harlequins at the moment. The back five been very heavily involved, and that's why these Harlequins are still in the game.
Good set of 6 this for Harlequins in defence. Only 18 metres forward gained by Huddersfield. Griggs' kick. That's a great kick. Almost over the head of Ben Jones-Bishop. He had to retreat for that about 10 metres. But a good carry back by the full-back.
Well, he's trying to, that should be a penalty. He's trying to get the game back into play. It's a smart move by the Giants. Oh, that's a bad error.
Will Sharp came up with the error there. This is Andy Raleigh for Huddersfield now.
Move!
Well, great work by the fullback Ben Jones-Bishop, and then they just throw away the the possession. They needed that to get back into it. They need a try desperately.
Little half break from Lan Patrick.
Giants, of course, they'll be looking for another try to try to kill off this game.
That was high, I think, on Robinson.
You're right around his neck. Go, mate. Go sharp.
Yeah, just went a little bit too high there to Will Sharp. Stray left arm. Kicking to the corner. No, they're going for the tap. Not bothering about kicking into this strong wind. The rain still coming down. Difficult to handle out there.
Griggs taking them on himself. Luke Williamson with the tackle.
Now then, will we see something like the runaround? We saw 3 or 4 in the first half, yet to be brought into the game in the second stanza.
Andy Raleigh on the ball for Huddersfield. Plays it there to Robinson. 10 metres away now, the Giants. Griggs waiting the dummy half. Chances left and right. They go left with Brown. Good ball then. And Graham Horne is over for Huddersfield. Graham Horne with the try. He's missed the last 2. He got a neck injury against Warrington. And the former Hull man has come up with his first try for Huddersfield. His brother Richard still, of course, up in East Yorkshire at Hull FC. Played last night against Bradford, but came off injured, if I read the reports correctly. But Graham Horne, that's an important try for Huddersfield. It just stretches the advantage still further. And his first try for the Giants.
And a pretty good try as well. They've really been enthusiastic, but the dummy runner came through, and the pass from Kevin Brown was superb. Watch this, bang, straight across. It looked as though Lunt was going to get the ball. He looked as though he's going to get a short pass. No, it wasn't. It was going out to Graham Horne. And again, we're seeing the silky skills of Kevin Brown. Not the best night for the mascot. No, the youngsters do enjoy it down here. But they are facing a very, very high mountain to climb. The home side, the Quins. Surely Hodgson will add the extras.
Well, he's past the 100-goal mark now for Huddersfield. That is his 3rd successful kick. He passed the 100 mark with his conversion of the Crabtree try earlier. And Graham Horne, valuable utility player that Nathan Brown has brought into the squad, gives them so much depth.
I must say, it was a tremendous work move. The way that Sean Lunt was shouting for the ball, I want it short, blah, blah, blah. Brown says, you ain't getting it. There's a fella called Graham Horne, and he raced over for a simple try. It's going to be difficult now for the Quins to get back into this match. But the one thing that you can say about a Brian McDermott side, they will not throw the towel in. And the Giants know that. They're going to have to still keep up the momentum.
That's a great kick-off. Tremendous kick-off. It was touched, so it's going to be a goal line dropout here.
Well, that was a bad mistake by Cudjoe. One of them should have been calling. It should have been the ball, really, for Leroy Cudjoe. He was running into it. Griggs had to turn away. And it's the man behind that really should be shouting. He knows that. There's Griggs just had a little word with Leroy Cudjoe. Said you should have shouted for that one. Either way, it's a pretty impressive scoreline.
It was Griggs's fumble, and he gets the goal line dropout away to Ben Jones-Bishop. And they will drag it back now in the shape of young Dave Williams.
Hold, go. Foot on it, mate.
And now a drive forward here from Oliver Wilkes.
Go.
It's Danny Orr and Melling, and he finds the fullback again, who gives it width and finds O'Callaghan. Slippy ground. They're trying to force him over the line on that far side. Couldn't do so.
You know, I'd love to look at the stats on this Huddersfield defence, Phil, in regards to the fact, not one, not two, but there's nearly always 3 into the tackle, isn't it?
Well, the kick goes through here, we might get a chance of it. Ricky Shea's in another try. Could well be for the Quins.
It could easily be, but the referee just wants to check whether Chris Melling is onside or not. It ricocheted up in the air, and Chris Melling was first to react. I think he is onside.
He looks okay from that. And once the ball comes off the Huddersfield player, I think it's Brett Hodgson, isn't it? It was a nice stab into the ground. No doubt about it. Thierry Alibert, the video referee tonight, he will give Mr. Melling the nod on that one. They won't give in. They will not throw the towel in this mob.
Well, Chris Melling believes that he scored. Thierry Alibert, the video referee, agrees. And Harlequins respond. It looked for a moment as though the match might be running away from them, but Chris Melling, with his first try of the year, he's playing at standoff for the 4th time in a row. The former Wigan man. He was a hooker against Melbourne in the warm-up for the World Club Challenge. But that try breathed a little bit of life into the Quins challenge.
Good opportunity, slippy ground. Okay, they got the bounce. It was a nice, powerful kick from Randall. All came about by Griggs, and you see Cudjoe really should have shouted for that. Griggs was twisting. Should have been Cudjoe's ball. Randall's kick, ricochets. Melling, you've got to be aware in this game.
And a few seconds ago, Danny Orr adds the extras. It's 12 points to 30 in Huddersfield's favour.
And that's reward for persistence there for Chris Melling. That's the 3rd kick he's followed up off Chad Randall's boot, and he's got the 4 turned into 6 there, and justly so as well.
Well, a little bit of heart for Harlequins.
Move! Hold! Go!
Last week, Huddersfield winning 26-20 against the champions. It confirms Huddersfield really as real deals in 2010.
Hold! Go!
Randall gives it wide. Howell and Aspinwall trying to roll him over the whitewash and into touch. That was Ben Bolger at dummy half. Randall again. Running with a bit of vim and vigour now, the Quins. A little bit of hope for them.
And hold. Go.
Randall. Back it comes to Melling. Here's Lamont Bryan.
You know what? He's done okay. All right, he didn't prevent Crabtree from scoring, but he stopped him close to the line. And for a player who's relatively new to this sport, Lamont Bryan's doing very well out there tonight against boys who grew up almost with the rugby ball from the first month of their life.
Good pressure on Leroy Cudjoe, who fielded the kick. Here goes Stephen Wild.
Well, when it got to 30 points to 6, it looked perhaps they were going into the final quarter. You just had a bit of a fear that the home side was going to tire and come down, and it's amazing what a try can do. Melling's try has certainly lifted them. And the Giants know they've been in a pretty tough game. It's taken some real class to produce the tries tonight from the Huddersfield Giants, and he will be very pleased, Nathan Brown. It's been a great all-round performance.
Brown wide, he goes to David Hodgson. Hodgson ducks under one challenge. Down he goes on the last. They're still inside their own half, only just. The kick may be from Brown or from Griggs. That's a nice little chip and a dink over the top. Oh, but very well watched. And here goes Chris Melling again. Chris Melling for the Harlequins. Crabtree gets to him.
Good work from the prop, but again, that should be a penalty. Crabtree tried to turn him over. You could see that Melling was desperate to get a quick play of the ball.
Randall to his feet. Danny Orr. Melling gives it with Lamont Bryan. They've got 2-on-1 overlap wide. They're in again. And it's Tony Clubb, the England international, over for a try for Harlequins. Trying last year's cup defeat here by Huddersfield, 42-16. Tony Clubb. Well, 2 tries from Harlequins since Huddersfield appeared to have the game well and truly in their pocket. And the fat's in the fire again.
Oh, tremendous play. Just trying a little bit too clever there, Griggs. When perhaps the Giants should be looking towards a kick and chase, apply the pressure, take nothing away from Melling. He's had a cracking game, especially in the second half. That's where I thought the penalty should come from. But they got it out wide, just hesitation. You can see they came out of the line. And I must say, Lamont Bryan took an eternity to get it away, but he did in the end, and Tony Clubb. Watch the Giants' defence come out of it. You can see Lee Gilmore came in, and so did David Hodgson, and it left Tony Clubb the chance and raised the spirits of the home crowd. It's a great fight back.
It is, and it's the third try that Harlequins have scored tonight against Huddersfield. No team this year yet has ever scored four against the Huddersfield Giants. Or with the conversion, what a kick! It's 18 points to 30, 2 converted tries. The fight back's on, John.
Great pick up there by Tony Clubb as well. Ball around his ankles. He's done great there. Scored the try in the corner. And again, you know, great handling, playing under pressure but being calm about it as well. And I say again, this completion rate and the willingness of the Harlequins players to share the workload has meant there's plenty of fight left in this team yet.
Certainly is, John, and you can say that about, and you have to say it about anyone that coaches this outfit. Brian McDermott knows that they will dig deep. And I just wonder whether Nathan Brown, the Giants coach, perhaps Rick's a little bit too clever, a little chip over the top when you've got to play for possession at times, Phil.
Well, do you know, I'd like to disagree, because I'd be bored if every side with the lead just kick deep and apply the pressure. I want to see teams try things, and I'm delighted that Huddersfield do. I know it didn't come off them and the other team scored, but I want to see a team try things. And the Giants, that's why I get excited when I know I'm going to watch the Giants play a game, because they'll attempt to do things that are outside the difference.
Well, he won't be happy with the way things are just going slightly awry, slightly off the game plan for Nathan Brown. 13 minutes to go. Another try from Harlequins. 4th try that any team has ever scored in a match against Huddersfield, and there really could be trouble.
Well, Nathan Brown will be very disturbed by the fact that first Lee Gilmore came out of the one-line of defence, then he found an experienced winger, David Hodgson, do exactly the same, and they're making breaks all over the place.
Great run from Golden, that.
Have they put the cue on the rack, the Giants?
Here is Melling, stabs it through. Hodgson read that script perfectly. Well, this is the year 2010 of big comebacks. We've seen quite a few already in the 7 rounds of the Engage Super League. Are we in for another here?
Well, it's amazing how many times have you seen a turnaround at the half-time break when it looks as though the side in the lead is going to go on. Okay, still a long way to go for the Quins. They know they've got to score very quickly.
Huddersfield trying to keep the ball alive, though, and succeeding. This is Grix.
They need to get in a good position so that they can get the kick away.
This is David Fayumu, quickly down to Bill on the last tackle here.
Eddie, this Harlequins fight back might just age Brian Blacker, the Huddersfield Giants second team coach, prematurely, but we've already aged him prematurely. I think I gave you some duff information. He's not 50 today, he's only 47, and the party is still going on apparently in one of the corporate boxes over the other side of the ground, but he's not impressed by that.
Well, 47, 50, what's 3 years between friends?
That's Bill, he'll tell you.
Hold. Go.
And let's say happy 50th to Brian for 2013 then in advance.
It's his birthday, he won't mind.
He won't mind if they get another couple of tries here, Quins. Here's Lamont Bryan.
2 in, 4, move!
Well, he's raw bone, isn't he? Inexperienced, but I tell you what, he really has put himself about.
He's played for the London Scholars this year. It's a massive step up.
Yeah,
and this is the thing about Harlequins this year, you know. They used to be the team of Antipodeans and people coming here for a retirement gift. Not anymore. I think there's only about 4 of this current Harlequin squad on duty tonight who aren't British. And some homegrown internationals, London-based. I know Chris Melling isn't one of them, but I think when John Wells made the decision, Phil, to come down here 5 or 6 years ago, it sort of broke the mould, didn't it? It alerted people in the north that there actually was a club down here worth playing for.
Well, they can perhaps gain some inspiration from their opponents tonight, who, don't forget, 10 years ago were the whipping boys of this competition and were embarrassed for several years. All of a sudden, they've slowly built over a period of time, and a quarter of the way through the season look like the side who will be at the grand final. So the Harlequins have so much to be proud of, the development of their players, and just like Leeds maybe 8 years ago when they had to blood players like Diskin and Burrow, Maguire, so much of the development here now of the Harlequin side will bear fruit. Unfortunately, supporters want to win tonight, though. They're not bothered about next year.
No, you're right. You're right. And Brian McDermott was telling me yesterday that, are you aware there are about 20,000 youngsters playing the game in London?
Well, I am, yes.
You're one of them.
Well, I live down here, yeah, I know and understand it. And I think it's a great tribute to the club itself. It's always difficult to attract the fans. There's so much to do, so many other alternative venues on, especially during the weekend. But he can feel proud, can Brian McDermott, tonight. I think a lot of people, okay, you look at the scoreline, 30 points to 18, and you'd say it's a bit of a shellacking, but it's not.
Oh, it's been a good contest. The Quins have fought back well. So the caravan at the moment is residing in London then, Steve-O, is it? Is that the case?
Well, it was until I put petrol in a diesel engine. It didn't do it any help at all. But that's life. You do make mistakes.
9 minutes to go. 12 points the difference here. And Harlequins just with the scent of something. Boy, if they could get over for another try, what a finish we'd have. It's Danny Orr. Gives it to Lamont Bryan again. Game boy, isn't he, Bryan?
Well, it's a big unit. It's very difficult to put down. And all they've got to do is just test their arm, try it, everything. And that's what they're doing.
Such a difference this year to last for Harlequins when they won 4 of the first 6 in 2009. But, you know, since they won at Hull Kingston Rovers on the 12th of June last year, they've won just 2 of 18 in Super League. It's not a record that Brian McDermott is proud of, I know, and he says this is not the place they wanted to be at this stage of the season. But they've got so many injuries.
And talking about injuries, what about a crunch tackle there from McCarthy Scarsbrook? He just cleaned out the fullback Brett Hodgson, who's feeling a little bit gingerly there.
Grix flicks the pass. Good run from Aspinwall.
Hold, go.
Here's Grix again.
Outside, he's clear.
Big kick down the middle. That'll hit the deck in front of Jamie O'Callaghan. Oh dear. Off his chest. Well, he gets away with that because his arms and his fingers were feeling for it. Watch this. Ooh.
And he just missed it. Gets to it.
No wonder you don't want to go into coaching, John, now that you've finished playing.
Once again, another opportunity there to take the ball on the full. But you go back to the number of London born and bred players. If I look at my laminated stat sheet here, I think we've got 4 in the starting 13, 7 in the 17. Now, it's great signs that for development of rugby in the capital.
Danny Orr gets the ball away. And it's Big Louis.
Now there's
to the ground by Gilmore.
There's a future in broadcasting, Eddie. Laminated sheets.
Yes, worry, isn't it?
It is.
Back to 0. Lamont Bryan
again.
Tried to catch it.
And Tony Clubb. Clattered by Graham Horn. He was thinking of the offload then. Here's Chris Melling. This now Chad Randall. Gives it then to Howell. He gives it infield to Ben Jones-Bishop. Graham Horn had to be alert with the tackle. It's Danny Orr looking both ways, waited for the call. It came, and the call came from Oliver Wilkes.
Well, they're keeping the ball alive, and I must say the Giants, they were so strong in defence throughout this game, but yet they're falling apart somewhat. Oh, that's the error. Crabtree will say, I'll slow it down. He's got enough experience, the England international. Into the ball for a while. And there to steady the ship as well is the skipper, Brett Hodgson. He's had a fine game, come back from injury. And you see the error there from Jones-Bishop.
Second.
It's been a good return for the man of steel.
One of the biggest improvements I've seen from the Giants this year, Eddie, is what they do if a player makes a break. They are becoming the best in this competition at supporting the man as soon as he gets through the line. And we've seen it already. If we see another break, just watch how there'll be at least 2 or 3 players working as hard as they can to get up there. And they want to convert those chances into tries.
Well, there's a penalty for Sean Lunt. Ollie Wilkes was all over the place in the ruck there and had hold of his legs.
I think he's just
interfering. I think he's
out on his feet.
He's gone. Yes. Yeah. I think he's actually coming over to the sideline to be replaced.
Yeah, he was really struggling a few minutes ago, and he took the gamble, tried to hold the feet down, play the ball. Now the important thing for Brian McDermott is to ensure that the Giants do not score now in the final 5 minutes.
Can't do that as you come round, Darren.
And again, messing around. He's been sharp on that tonight, is Phil Bentham.
You came out and pushed him back down.
Well, I think the words come out from Nathan Brown. They'll take the 2 on offer here.
And how's that for respect? Nathan Brown says, hey, we haven't had much possession. Taking 2, it'll just seal the victory. He knows it.
I get trapped. Yeah.
I think he's won best dressed coach in Super League this weekend, Eddie. Tell you what, he looks cool.
Yeah, after a minute, he gets 1 minute.
The Harlequins asking the referee to call time off, but the rule is that they get a minute, and after the minute, then time is called off, which is probably the reason why they're taking this 2, just to eat the clock up a bit. John?
Yeah, I think, well, I'll look at that. Nathan Brown's just said, pointed for the 2. They're 2 scores in front now, 2 converted scores. This puts them pretty much out of reach of the Harlequins. That's, you know, I'm not sure whether that's respect or that's just ultra professionalism, which, you know, is has been the order of the day throughout the Huddersfield camp. They started very, very brightly. Yeah, fair enough. Took their foot off the gas a little bit, but are showing really now why they are title contenders.
Hodgson then. It's 3 from 6 at the moment. For him, 50% success rate. Slips as he kicks that, but still manages it. 4 from 7 for David Hodgson. 32-18 for Huddersfield. 2 points heading back to Nathan Brown's and the Gulf Farm Stadium.
It's a job well done. He realises it. And the visiting fans come all the way down on the M1, which is quite difficult these days. It's not an easy trip down, but full credit to the support.
Short kick-off. Kudjoe misses that. And it's knocked forward then by Will Sharp, and again the referee will bring it back. Head and feed to Huddersfield at the scrum. Game just petering out now.
Yeah, the guys are still showing a little bit of endeavour there. I think both teams are ready for that final whistle. It's been a tough contest, and you know there have been a few errors, but there's also been some silky skills on display. And you know, from Huddersfield especially, they've performed outstandingly, I think, today.
I think the one advantage, Eddie, as well is that the Quins in the second half have made it quite clear that it doesn't matter who comes down into London, they're going to get a very tough game. With so many stars out, the Quins, they really have performed well. But
yes, he wants his stars back, Brian McDermott, and he thinks as soon as they do, when the grounds harden up a bit, they'll be a threat to anybody.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's but the first half performance, I must say, from the Giants was quite superb.
Ben Jones-Bishop will run the ball back, only as far as Wild and Kudjoe. Will Sharp, nearly a fumble, but well held in the end by Chad Randall. Well, there really is a logjam developing at the top of the table. I think this means that Huddersfield are the 5th club to hit 10 points.
Yeah, and they'd be my favourites as well if we had to make a decision at this point in time. Nice chip over there for, is it Louis McCarthy's car's book?
Yeah, but well
Brett
watched by
Hodgson's
Brett
positioning
Hodgson.
has been fantastic tonight. I guess you pick that up over years of trial and error. Sometimes you're in the right place, and eventually if you're not, you soon learn that the next game you have to be where it's going to be, and he can predict, can't he, where the kick's going to come to.
Well, the last 2 away games at Wakefield and Hull Kingston Rovers, they kept the opposition scoreless. Huddersfield, their game is based on good defence. They were the best defensive outfit of 2009 as well. But I suppose we must credit, and Brian McDermott will take some heart from the fact that they've been pierced 3 times. But can Robinson just finish it for Huddersfield here? Well, he tried. Danger is still not over. Gricks at dummy half. Back he comes to Brown. He stabs it behind the defenders, and it runs far too deep. Well, 15 seconds remaining. Job well done for Nathan Brown and his team. They've won this. They join all the teams on 10 points at the top. And Wigan with the opportunity, of course, at Castleford tomorrow to just claim a 2-point advantage at the Summit. This is the last action of this first half, this match rather. And there it is, Ben Bolger, knock on each way, ending untidily. The last 10 minutes a little bit scrappy because of the domination that Huddersfield had in the end after the penalty goal from Brett Hodgson. It was never going to be Harlequins' night, but they gave a real fight in the middle of that second half with the tries from Melling and Clubb. But it's 3 successive wins.